That voice telling you you're not enough isn't actually yours. It was recorded in your brain before you even turned 7, and you've spent your entire life obeying a script that someone else wrote before you even had the words to question it. Trauma isn't only about what happened to you, it's also about what didn't happen, the hug that never came, the approval you were always waiting for, the silence that showed up exactly when you needed an answer the most. That absence turned into a voice, and over time, you learned to call that voice your personality. Here's what neuroscience has uncovered, and it will change how you see your own thoughts starting today. Before the age of 7, your brain operates in what's called a theta wave state. It's the same state adults enter during hypnosis. There's no critical filter, no analysis, no questioning. Everything that reaches you gets absorbed as absolute truth. So, when someone important in your life communicated through words, actions, or even silence that you were too much, not enough, too sensitive, weak, or hard to love, your brain didn't question it. It couldn't. It simply recorded it and built an entire protection system based on that recording. That's why today you freeze before putting yourself out there, procrastinate before taking risks, and give up before even trying. It's not weakness, and it's not a lack of discipline. It's a protection system still running on data from when you were 5 years old, data that was never updated. Think about a moment you've probably experienced. You're about to do something important. Send that message, ask for that promotion, start that project, or finally share that idea you've been holding on to for months. And suddenly, a feeling shows up. It's not exactly a thought. It feels more like a weight in your chest, a sudden urge to check your phone, an unexplained fatigue, or some random reason to put it off until tomorrow. You don't know where it came from, so you label it as laziness or lack of focus. But it's neither. It's your nervous system recognizing the pattern of exposure and triggering an alarm it learned a long time ago. Because at some point in your childhood, when you put yourself out there, when you tried, when you were fully yourself, something painful happened. You were judged, ignored, diminished, or simply didn't receive what you needed. Your brain, which is fundamentally a survival machine, registered that exposure equals danger. So now, every time you're about to grow, take a risk, or step into your space, it protects you the only way it knows how, by stopping you before you even begin. Now, picture a different scene. You receive a compliment, achieve something real, or get recognized for your work. Someone important tells you that you're amazing, but instead of feeling proud, you feel a strange discomfort. A voice whispers that it was just luck, that it won't take long for people to figure out you don't know what you're doing, that it's not going to last. You call it being realistic. Psychology calls it imposter syndrome. And it doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from years of hearing, directly or indirectly, that you weren't enough. Your brain learned to anticipate disappointment before it arrived, because anticipating hurt less than being caught off guard. So even when you win, part of you is already preparing to lose. These are two completely different scenarios. One stops you before you try, the other empties you after you succeed, but they both come from the same source, the same voice, the same internal recording. And here's where it becomes truly unsettling. It's not just that this voice exists inside you, it's that over time you stopped recognizing it as a voice. You started calling it you. You no longer notice that you're repeating something someone else said before you even had the language to question it. And even on your best days, a part of you still finds a way to make sure you don't go too far. Imagine a child growing up in an environment where showing emotion is seen as weakness, where crying creates irritation, where needing attention is treated as a burden. That child doesn't consciously decide to shut down their feelings. They learn, through repetition, that feeling is dangerous, that needing is inconvenient, and that taking up space comes with a cost. Then that child grows up and becomes an adult. But now, the environment doesn't have to reinforce those messages anymore because they've already been internalized. The voices of others become your inner voice, showing up at the exact moment you're about to take a risk. You criticize yourself before anyone else can, quit before someone rejects you, and downplay your own achievements before anyone questions them. This isn't a character flaw, it's adaptive intelligence. Your brain learned that attacking yourself first hurts less than being attacked unexpectedly. The problem is that the same mechanism that protected you as a child is now limiting you as an adult. There's also a difficult truth most people avoid. You're not actually afraid of failure. You're afraid of trying your absolute best and proving that the voice was right. Because if you only try halfway and fail, you still have an excuse. But if you give everything you have and it doesn't work, there's nowhere to hide. That's when the voice wins. So, your brain creates procrastination, sudden exhaustion before important moments, convenient distractions, and even crises at the worst possible times, not to sabotage you, but to protect you from a confirmation it learned to fear before you even had the words to describe it. The way out is not to silence the voice. You don't shut down a protection system that took years to build through willpower or positive thinking. The way out is to understand where it came from, and to do that consistently every time it shows up. When you feel that resistance, that heaviness, that automatic thought that you're not enough, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. Who said this first? Is this still true today? And what would I do if I didn't believe this? That answer is your real next step. This process is grounded in neuroscience. When you activate an emotional memory, it enters a temporary state where it can be updated with new information. But this isn't an instant fix. It's like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. There's one more important detail most people ignore. This work doesn't happen only in your mind. Trauma lives in the body, in the tension in your shoulders when you're criticized, the tightness in your chest before a presentation, the clenching of your jaw when someone raises their voice. You can't think your way out of something that was never stored as a thought. It was stored as a feeling. That child who learned all of this wasn't wrong for believing it. They needed to trust the adults around them in order to feel safe in a world they didn't yet understand. Questioning it would have felt too dangerous. But you're not that child anymore. Now, you have the ability to choose what you believe, the awareness to ask the questions they couldn't ask, and the language to name what happened without minimizing it or pretending it was normal. This process isn't fast, and it isn't linear. There will be days when that voice feels louder than your logic, and that's okay. Progress isn't about silencing the voice completely. It's about the space that starts to grow between the moment the voice shows up and the moment you automatically obey it. You call it a thought. Psychology calls it trauma. But the name that matters most is this: a learned pattern. And what is learned can be unlearned. If you recognized yourself in any part of this, write in the comments, what was the first voice you identified? Naming it is already the first conscious step toward change. And that's exactly where everything begins.